Some of you are so afraid of failing, you don't try. Whatever it is in life. You got a fear of failure problem. And that's a big problem out there. Actually, you know what? There's two fears that are almost equal. Fear of failure is a little bigger. There's also the fear of succeeding. Because people are afraid, well, what if it works? Then what? Now what do I do? How am I going to handle the success? Because success, you know what that really means? You've gone from this level to this level. So now there's a different expectation and different all kinds of things happening at a new level. What do I do at this new level? I don't know how to be at that new level. So there's a fear of that too. How are people going to look at me at this new level? How are my friends going to treat me? How's my family going to treat me at this new level? Am I going to be able to maintain it? And then what about the expectation to go to the next level? I mean, you guys are aiming at the highest level of life there is, called the kingdom, aren't you? Now, he did say, but if you want to enter into life, keep the commands. Guard the commands. Okay? Isn't that in every Christian Bible? So how do you get rid of the idea that Yeshua would ever want to do away? How do you get that idea that he would want to do away with commandments? Well, commandments have nothing to do with salvation or everlasting life. Well, he just said it did, literally. The guy asked him, how do I have eternal life? And he said, well, you need to keep the commands. Is there any weird, ambiguous gray area here? Did he say something really deep and hidden? He said, if you want to enter into life, guard the commands. Which is exactly what Moses told them, right? I lay before you life and death, choose life. He's trustworthy doing what? He's guarding covenant. I'm going to put out there as one of my little points to make over the course of the dealing with trustworthy, that us keeping covenant is how we show our trustworthiness. It is one of the elements of trustworthiness he's looking for. He keeps covenant and he's trustworthy. We need to keep covenant to show we're trustworthy. All right? Now, if you don't know what covenant is, go listen to the teaching. I know it's a shocking title for it. Are you covenanted? Okay? Try to make the title simple for you to know what the topic is. Okay, I know it's 55 parts. It's the most important 55 parts you'll ever listen to. If you don't know what covenanted is, you don't know what you're doing. It is the definition of the relationship he wants with you. He wants you to covenant. You have to, listen, he says, he shall clear away the nations, okay? But then you're going to think, like a Christian, and think he's just going to do it. No. He says when Yahweh Elohim gives them over to you, you're going to do this work, okay? He's going to give them over to you, meaning it's going to be your responsibility to set your boundaries with all your family and friends, to clear out what needs to be cleared out. He says, he wants you to smite them and put them under the ban. That is to destroy completely these nations. Now, you're not going to do that to your friends and family, but you understand what I'm saying? In other words, you need to have that separation created there. He doesn't want you to be influenced by them. He says, make no covenant with them and show them no favor. Yet you guys are still super overly influenced by people not in covenant. Because he wants you to be trustworthy. And he's watching your choices, the relationships that you have. Look, some of you listening right now really need to hear this, okay? And because you're going to be mad at me because I get counseling sessions about this on a regular enough basis. Okay? If you are single, I'm not talking about you already married. If you're already married and you're unequally yoked because one of you had your bubble pop and the other didn't, you can call for help, etc. That's not your fault, okay? You were equally yoked when you got married to whatever degree. You're probably on the same page. But here's the thing, though. If you're single and you're not, okay, of the world anymore, you're covenanted now, right? Why would you still think about marrying someone who's not where you are? Oh, but I love him. I love her. Okay. And you're going to counsel with me when you're ready to get a divorce because it can't work that way. You shall guard the command, verse 11, and laws and right rulings, which I command you today to do them. Anybody think that Yahweh ever wastes his breath? Does he waste his breath? No. Does he say anything that's just for no reason? So when he says this, how do we get to the laws were done away with, they're bad for us, nailed to the cross? How do you get there? He says, I want you to guard the command. Oh, that was for them. I want to be them. Why wouldn't you want to be them? They're the ones who have a relative. He says, these are the ones, you ready for this? He says, these are the ones he's chosen to be a people for himself. A treasured, why wouldn't you want to be them? Of course you should want to be them. He didn't say, I chose them and I chose other people too and whatever. No, I chose them. Good news is you get to become part of the them you get to join the Commonwealth of Israel. He says, verse 14, blessed are you above all the peoples. Okay, I want every Christian to listen. Blessed are you above all the peoples if. He didn't say blessed are you just because blessed are you. He said, if you are the one who covenants, guards the commands of what he said in verse 12. He said, it shall be because you hear and do that blessed are you above all the peoples. Those people who are hearing and doing. What was the covenant? If you will hear and do. That was the covenant, right? Exodus 19. If you will obey every word that comes out of my mouth. So you're going to hear it and do it. Because he says, this could lead to you serving their mighty ones, for that is a snare to you. So there's a snare that if you pardon and you make excuses and you don't separate yourself properly from all of this, that you may be snared down their rabbit hole and their path. It's a potential trap for you, but you don't want to see it that way. Look, everybody wants to call this all cultures talking about. This is the creator of the universe telling them you're going to literally destroy and cut off everybody else. That could lead. That's what he says. I mean, he's saying it right there. Don't get mad at me. But how does that look today? I think it has a lot to do with the choices of who you're spending time with and how much time you're spending with them. He said, don't be afraid of them. See, you're afraid. And that's when you start to not trust him because you're afraid. Remember, the most dangerous of all things in your life is fear. You will make all kinds of wrong choices because of fear. You won't do the things you're supposed to do because of fear. That's the whole battle of the whole journey in here is the overcoming of fear. Why does Moses have to just remind even Joshua, be strong and of good courage, right? Be strong and courageous. Okay, Brianna wrote a great song for that, right? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, right? Well, look, he's saying it right here. He said, don't be afraid of them. Remember well what Yahweh your Elohim did to Pharaoh and all Mitzrayim. He said they were slaves. They were dealing with slavery, and yet he brought them out. He says, you talk about thinking you're powerless. They were powerless. But they still had to leave. They still had to pack up, gird themselves up, and leave. Remember, the people that did with the talents did not receive anything until they had finished whatever they were doing with the talents. They had to do their part. So you have to do your part first. He did his part. He gave them the talent. He did his part. He gives us the commandments. He did his part. He sent Yeshua. He did it. You know what I'm saying? He did his part. It's all in your hands now. What are you doing? Oh, but you don't like that. You like the better in Christianity where he did his part and your part. That's what you like better. Oh my gosh, so it's easier. He did his part and he did my part. So why do you deserve anything? Oh, well, don't say I deserve. Now you're talking about earning. And well, yes, you earn everything. Why would he give you any reward if you don't earn it? Would you give a kid a reward who didn't earn it? Well, some people would. Every kid who participates, whether they win or lose, gets a trophy. That's stupid.